What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be talking none other than my 4th place at a 1K, but also 1st place at a store championship deck profile for none other than one of my favorite decks of this format, the all-powerful BloomHydra. So, without further ado, let's dive into this video and talk about it. Here, but we have Argomon as our BT02 Digitama egg. So this card, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, gain 1 memory. This extends your plays a lot, in my opinion. There's not many times that you won't need that extension. There are a lot of times you don't have the Mimi right away. So that 1 memory does pull you ahead eventually. And then once you have Mimi out or the memory boost to pop, that's instantly when they choke you to 1, that's 4 memory to play with. And that can lead you right into your Bloomlord or the Hydramon very easily. So this is a pretty solid Digitama. The only thing I would substitute this possibly for is a Digitama that gives power. Because sometimes that's all you need is just to get a little bit over something. And then you get there. But really, that is the first 4 Digitama. The next one we do play is Gummymon. Gummymon is another very good Digitama. Because your turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw a card. So, since we have Palmon, that allows us to suspend if it gets suspended, instantly gaining us some much needed value, this can lead us to getting some draws to unbrick. Sometimes I pondered the thought of actually going 2 Gummymon, 3 Argo, but right now I think 1 Gummy for now for those certain circumstances that I want fate to decide to give me probably is worth it, right? Now let's talk about the Digitama. So first off, we are playing 4 of the new, BT10 Palmon. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with vegetation or plant in one of its traits, add 1 card with fairy in its traits among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Really useful, very powerful, I think. So, being able to on-play, revealing the top cards of your deck, being able to hopefully hit 2 targets, sometimes really does help out. There are times you have to Digivolve this on the raising, and that's really sucks, but sometimes just hard playing it really is all you need to be able to extend your plays, get pieces, and go further. So, that's kind of where I sit with this card. 4 of is definitely a must in this deck. Then we do have 4 EX-3 Palmon. So this card is ridiculously nutty. So when an effect When an effect suspends this Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. This works with Digizorption because it is classified an effect, even though it's a cost to rest it. So then now your Digizorption will suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, leading you to being able to swing into it and cause a lot of damage. So, very important because Palmon is such a valid target. That is 4 of them. I wouldn't play any less than 4. Then we do have 2 Palmon from the BT9 set. All players can't play Digimon by effect. So this helps in Jesmon. This helps in the mirror match. This helps in against d-brigade. Stuff like that that are just trying to spit out stuff. This format is a lot about players playing Digimon by effect, and this card really comes in useful, but it can shut you down too. So it's an all turns players can't play, so that can hurt you if you're trying to extend and go further. You need to realize where your stuff are. So I don't think playing more than 2 is actually viable. So 2 Palmon. Then we do have 2 Mushroomon. Mushroomon is a vanilla 2 cost drop, 3000 DP. I'm actually thinking about replacing this card with the Palmon from the starter deck that has the inheritable of giving this Digimon plus X amount of DP. That card actually is seeming more and more viable when you attack a Digimon, so that you can hit magic numbers, because sometimes there are 7k bodies on the board that tie and you would trade, and you don't want to give that up just right yet because you want to just start removing threats off the board slowly. I think this card is useful because hard playing it for 2 is not bad. It helps memory choke, but with our ability to play a lot of free Digimon and stuff like that, I think having the ability to give the extra DP boost to just get over thresholds really is more important. So I think the starter deck Palmon is going to probably come out for this after the extensive amount of testing I've done. So definitely coming out for something better. And then finally, we do have 2 Terriermon. Terriermon from BT3. So your opponent can't gain memory except with Tamer effects. So this is to help slow down those memory boosters, or if they go in the Jessmon matchup, if they're trying to kill things, they need to kill the Terriermon first. If they miss killing Terriermon first with their swing, and then they go Sistermon, that can lead into being some crazy shenanigans. So that really punishes them if they miss timing on this. So Terriermon's just a good memory choker, especially if they also, you have to deal with memory boosts and stuff like that. Just get rid of those threats very easily. So that's all the rookies. Now let's get into the champions. First off, we have 4 Sunflowmon. Sunflowmon's really good because when Digivolving, suspend one of your green Digimon. You may play 1 Digimon card with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of its traits and 3000 DP or less from your hand without paying its play cost. So being able to slam something down really does come in handy. But opponent's turn, once per turn, your turn, when an effect suspends this one of your Digimon, draw a card. So being able to, let's say, Digizorption suspend, you can't draw a card if you Digizorption this and then Digivolve up. This has to be past the Digizorption. Digizorption happens before the Digievolution happens, so that's kind of something you need to know. You will not draw if you Digizorption on this if you're Digivolving on top of this Digimon with Digizorption and suspending something else. Does not count. Does not count. But being able to flood the board a little bit really does help out. So for Sunflowmon, really useful in my opinion. It is a staple for the deck for a long time. Then we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 RedVegiemon. So RedVegiemon is just a decent vanilla 3000 DP, 1 cost evolve. Really just there for the raising climb, just to help you out. And that 1 cost evolve, choke your opponent to 1, really can lead to being some good practice against your opponent. Then we do have 3 Weedmon. So Weedmon is in here for actually a couple reasons. We actually can use it for its Digiburst effect. That we have 1 card that will Digiburst this out. So we'll gain some memory out of that. But it's a 1 cost evolve, 3000 DP Digimon. Not a bad trade-off. He'll definitely get replaced with the new Vegiemon that is in BT11. That allows you to basically gain 1 memory if it's on the board at the start of your turn. So that's kind of just how we're going about it. But that is all the champion level 4s we have. Not a bad lineup in my opinion. So next we're going to talk about the ultimates. We do have 3 Ajatarmon. So this card, really useful here. Let's talk about it actually. So main phase, by suspending one of your green Digimon, you may play 1 Digimon card with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of its traits with 3000 DP or less from your hand without paying its play cost. What's really nice is you can suspend himself and produce that. And then when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, gain 1 memory. This also one of those things that you have to be, you can't use its effect like with a Digizorption or anything like that, because it's not going to see it. Because even though it's Digivolving up, it needs to happen prior to that. So what you need to do is be a Mega already and then suspend something to gain the value. So not a bad trade-off here. So 3 Ajatarmon, really good. I like it a lot. I might bump it up to 4, but I think 3 is actually quite solid spot for me. Outside of that, nothing too crazy. But the next card we're going to is 3 Blossomon. Yes, they are the alternate art. So this card has Digizorption 3. So when one of your Digimon Digivolves into this card from hand, you may suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the memory cost of the Digievolution by 3. So this shuts this down and really punishes your opponent. I think being able to slow your opponent down like that well, just kidding. Being able to Digivolve for free like this really does help out extend our plays. And just even Digivolving to the stack and then going right into, let's say, our big Digimon of Bloomlord, we can lead to being some very powerful plays. So 3 Blossomon, I think that's really a solid outlook. Then we do have 2 Cherrymon. So Cherrymon is basically a very powerful card. It has Digisorption for 2, basically becomes a 1-cost evolve. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target of the attack to one of your suspended Digimon. Being able to switch the attack to maybe, let's say they swing in, instantly bringing it to your Bloomlord, going like, oh, well, I wasn't ready for that. Or they're trying to target your Bloomlord, oh, bring it to the rookie that's suspended. Well, that's kind of how that plays out. I think that's not a bad trade-off. 2 is fine by me. I might bump it up to a 3rd. That's just, it's tight space. I don't know what I would take out to bring him up to 3. And that's just me trying to figure that out. So 2 Cherrymon's not bad. And then finally, 1 Argomon. Argomon has Digisorption 3. And then when attacking, you may play 1 level 3 green Digimon card from your hand, suspended without paying its memory cost. This helps out with Bloomlord's effect, because if you have this under Bloomlord and you're starting to attack, that might lead you getting an extra boost that you were just shy by 1 for. That could mean 3 security checks at 16, which can clear most threats off board. So that's very important. And then we do have 4 Bloomlord. So Bloomlord is one of our boss Digimon of this deck. So the power behind him is ridiculous. So when Digivolving, you may suspend one of your Digimon, then gain 1 memory for each suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of their traits you have in play. If you gain 2 or more memory by this effect, unsuspend this Digimon, gain Piercing until for the turn. So basically, it gets a free value out of this. It can gain a lot of memory. So as long as you have 2 bodies, this is a 2-cost evolve on gain. But for every 2 suspended Digimon you have in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP and gains security plus 1. It counts itself, boys and girls. That's huge. Just remember that when you're going into the combo, that it does count itself. So that's a guaranteed 1 security check with 1 body on there. So this is 2 security checks guaranteed with the extra Digimon suspended by his own effect. So not bad. And that restand is huge. So that's kind of just how that goes there. So 4 of these. And then finally, we got a couple more megas. We have none other than Hydramon. So this is Hydrusy for a lot of players. But there is a huge errata on this, so I will pull the real card up. When Digivolving, you may suspend one of your Digimon. Not you and your opponents. Then all turns, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, for each other suspended Digimon with Vegetation or Plant or Fairy in its traits you have in play, gain 1 memory. So he doesn't count himself, which is good to know. You need to remember this. Then, if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy, place one of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of its owner's deck. So he has a lot of erratas in him, but this is basically very easy to understand his all turns and end of turn. But outside of that, it's just the when Digivolving is an issue, because it's not supposed to be able to suspend your opponent's Digimon. So Hydramon is very powerful in its own right. So we play 3 of it. I don't see any more than that. And then finally, we do play 1 Nidhoggy Boy. So when Digivolving, Digiburst 4, suspend all your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less, then place all your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. Trash all the Digi-Evolution of those Digimon. So at right times, this card can clear a board against your opponent, especially in the mirror match. This comes up very much a lot, because they have 3000 DP most of the time. Their Digimon are suspended, go into Nidhogg, clear the board, call it a day. So definitely Nidhogg is very powerful. Then we do have 2 Samade Santis. So Samade Sante is very interesting. So you may suspend one of your Digimon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Your opponent's cards suspended with this effect cannot unsuspend until the end of turn. So this is a hard, you need to suspend something. You could play one to choke something, but it's not going to stun it. So just something to think about there. Just being able to lock your opponent's Digimon really does help out. So definitely 2 of. I might bump it down to 1 and play 1 Grande Soul, because I think that's very useful too. So there's just so much potential. Then we do have 3 Green Memory Boost. Green Memory Boost, useful card, always going to be. So basically what happens is reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 green Digimon card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order, then place this card in the battle area, delay, gain 2 memory. So this extends your plays, searches out pieces, very useful at the end of the day. I have no issues with it, and I love it. So 3 of them, very, very useful. And then finally, 1 hidden potential discovered. The next time one of your green Digimon Digivolves this turn, you may suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the memory cost by 5. So this basically leads our Hydra Bloomlord free value excessively. So let's say even if you weren't really wanting to, you could get a bunch of free memory out of a Bloomlord play, because 4 he gains for every suspended, so it won't cost you a dime just to do hidden potentials discovered. So not a bad trade-off. I love hidden potential. And then finally, we do play 2 of Mimi. Mimi is the heart and soul of the deck, really. If you have 2 or less memory, set your memory to 3. And then if you have 5 or more green Digimon in play, you may suspend this tamer to hatch 1 Digi-Egg to an empty space in your breeding area, or move a 1 level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area to battle area. So she extends as long as you're at a level 5, which is very easy in this deck, because we have so many Digisorption effects and stuff like that. Can lead to being some powerful plays. Outside of that, nothing too crazy. I mean, I enjoy the deck. There are plenty of things that I might change up a little bit. I think DP thresholds are very important in the ultimate line. Most Digimon now sit at 7,000 DP, so being able to get up to 9K, anything like that, to just trade, swing in, and just take it out is really important. I think being able to get up and over an ultimate that has a boost or just naturally that powerful really is going to help us. So I think majorly, I think adding the Palmon for the extra DP just hits that magic number threshold that we're going to need. So things that actually I liked about the 1K event that I got 4th place in, being the only Bloom Hydra player to reach the top 8, really good to me. There were a couple Grandest players, there was Jessmons, there was a Gallantmon player, there was a lot of different players in here that matched up. There was, I think, 3 Jessmon that top dated. Then you had 3 Grandeses. No, 2 Grandeses, 3 Jessmon, Gallantmon. Then you had d-brigade, I think, was one of them. I can't remember exactly the full top 8 breakdown, but it was really good to actually play out that matchup. So, really good. My matchups in the tournament was actually pretty solid. I faced Jessmon. I lost to the first place Jessmon player, by the way. Very close. I also was under the assumption that Digisorption wasn't in effect at that point, and then I found out it was halfway through the event. So, something to keep an eye on. Then I faced the OTK King Cherrymon. That one, game 2, I kind of bricked hard. I just had Megas in hand. I just could not find my bridge into the ultimates. Happens, comes with the territory. And then bottom decking Samate Sante, hidden potential discovered, a green memory boost, and then a Terriermon really set me back. So off of Palmon. And it happened quite a lot. I'm kind of upset about that, but that's fine. We'll work with that. Then followed by my 4th place matchup was a mirror match. I'm actually okay in the mirror match. I kind of know it quite well. It's a lot of timing and interactions. And also, if your opponent bricks in that matchup. So it kind of gets really who doesn't brick in that situation, and you just climb out of it. And then finally, we faced against d-brigade, and Nidhogg definitely clearing the board helped. And that basically gets around Death X because there's nothing it can de-digivolve, and Nidhogg's just a big body, so you have a Mega sitting on board the whole time. And then even at worst case, they bring you down to an ultimate in your lineup because you're not playing anything like ultimates out unless you're really having a double mega situation. So that's not a bad trade-off there, but we have so much potential also with that. So just a lot of interesting techs we can do. And I really like the deck as is. I think, like I said, I'm only going to make a few changes where it is DP reliant and boosting. And I think that's going to help me get to hit magic numbers, which really can lead to a game win, especially against certain matchups. But all in all, really good. And then we had the local run, which was BloomHydra first round. We won that. Then game 2 was... I don't remember what game 2 was. It wasn't that important, I don't think. But I 2-0'd there as well. Game 3 was against WarGreymon X, and that was 2-0'd, and that was just pretty quick. Bloomlord with a hidden potential discovered, clearing out, you know, the metal WarGreymon X really does help out. And then final round was against Ajatarmon. That matchup was pretty close to getting into game 3. Game 2, I just finally drew into the Cherrymon after I had nothing left. I cleared everything but one Digimon. I just needed Cherrymon or Samade Sante, and I top decked the Cherrymon to get the out. So that was kind of just how that went. So all in all, really good matchups. I think there was nothing I really was worried about. I think the deck has so much potential. It's just a lot of timing everything right and who raises first and who gets to what first and what you do first kind of situation. It's just a lot of timing and knowing like what's going to do what and how much memory you're giving your opponent and if your bodies are going to survive, all that fun, good stuff. So guys, what did you think of this video? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed my run and my discussion. So without further ado, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.